Hello gamers, it's Tom Sidener, the Lonely Gamer, and today I am going to play a solo game of Dark Souls, the board game. Now, in this video I'm going to go over the setup for Dark Souls, the board game, and then in the next video I'm going to actually play through a solo version of Dark Souls, the board game. So if you want to see the actual gameplay, that will be in the next video. I will put a link to that video in the show notes of this video. But for this video, we are just going to go through the setup so that if you're going to play your own game, then you can just watch this video to set up the game. So the first thing you need to do is tile setup. And when you do tile setup, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to place the bonfire tile on the table. The bonfire tile is going to be in every game, and so you're going to need that tile for every game you play, so you're going to place that out first. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the two tiles from the board game that have to do with the bosses. There's one board that has the mini boss symbol on it, and there's one board that has the mega boss or the main boss symbol on it. You're going to remove those from the available tiles that you're going to set out. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose 3 to 4 tiles to play on for the actual scenario. Now, if you're playing the campaign, a lot of the campaign have 3 tiles, but in a regular game that's not a campaign game, they recommend 4. So in this instance, we are going to have 4 tiles, and I have selected them randomly. I actually selected them in a way to allow me to place the tiles the way I did. Now, in the book it shows the tiles going, kind of here and then here and then here and then back up here, but that kind of allows you to skip tiles. So you can lay out the tiles in a way where you don't have to go through every tile. But for my scenario, or for my solo play, I wanted to have to go through all the tiles to get to the fog gate here. So I went ahead and picked tiles that actually made me go through all of them to get to the end. So I picked the bridge, and then I picked this one which had doors going completely through, and then I picked this one that had doors going completely through, and then I picked this one just at random so that I would have some place to put the fog gate. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 4 tiles. You're going to lay those tiles out in whatever order you want, so you can lay them out like I did, where you have to go through all of them, or you can lay them out so that you can zigzag and skip some, whatever you want to do. And then at the end, the farthest tile, you're going to put the fog gate. Now this fog gate is what you're going to pass through when you go to fight the boss that you've selected for your scenario. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the spark dial. That's this little dial here. I can hold it up to the camera so you can see it a little better. And you're going to set it to the number of sparks that you're going to have for the number of players that you're playing. Now I'm playing 1 player, so for 1 player I get 5 sparks. So I've set this to 5, and then I'm going to place it on the bonfire here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to select the boss that you're going to fight. Now I have selected the gargoyle, and here he is right here. I selected the gargoyle because he's the easiest, and this is the first time I've played, so I don't want to get completely destroyed. I'm probably still going to die, but I want to have a fighting chance anyway. So I've selected the gargoyle. There's his figure. I also have his monster card and his tactic cards that I will need for the final battle. I also have his treasure cards that hopefully if I beat him, I will get one of those treasures. Now I am just playing a single playthrough, and in the book it does say that if you play a single playthrough, you can ignore the treasure cards for the mini bosses and bosses. But if you're going to play and beat a mini boss, and then you're going to play back through and beat a full boss, you do use the treasures because you're going to get one of those treasures from the mini boss when you beat him. I also have the boss's health dial right there that I'm going to use to keep track of his health when I do fight him. Now none of this is going to come into effect until I've made it through the entire dungeon and I've entered the fog gate. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to set up the encounter cards on the tiles that you have put out. If you look at the boss's main card, his monster card I call it, it'll tell you on there how many of each encounter it has, and then you're going to put the lowest ones the closest to you and then the higher ones closer to the fog gate. So for me, my monster said that I have 3 level 1 encounters, so I've put 3 level 1 encounter cards out here and a level 2 encounter, which is on this tile right here. So what I did was I sorted the encounter cards by their level into 3 separate piles. There's level 1, level 2, and level 3 encounters. I shuffled them. I picked 3 level 1s, randomly placed them on these tiles, and then I picked 1 level 2 at random and placed it on this tile. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your character. Now in my case, I have chosen the warrior as my character. The one thing I will say about this game that is a little bit of a drawback is I wish that the designers of this game had put a symbol maybe up in this corner that actually showed you what the person's symbol is. Now my warrior symbol is an axe. It looks like this right here. I'm going to hold this up to the camera so that you can see it. And I wasn't exactly sure what his symbol was. I did look in the book, and through process of elimination I did figure it out. But it would have been really nice if his symbol would have been on this card someplace so it was easy to match up. But you're going to select your character. You're going to place your character board on the table. You're going to retrieve the starting equipment for your character, and you're going to know that it's his starting equipment because on the back it's going to have that said symbol on it, and all of his starting equipment has that symbol on it. So as you can see, both of these have that symbol on it. You are going to place his starting equipment on his board where it tells you to. So this equipment, this one tells you it goes into one hand right here where I'm pointing. This one says it goes into one hand, and this says that it goes into the armor spot. So that's going to go into his armor spot. So this is my starting equipment. I'm going to place that on my board. I'm also going to place white cubes on my board to represent my base attributes. So my strength, my dexterity, my intelligence, and my faith. And I'm going to place these white cubes here to show what my base starting point is for those. Now those can be upgraded throughout the game by moving the cubes to the left, and we will talk about that as we play the game. I'm also going to get some tokens to show my different things. My lucky coin, I'm going to put that here. My watch here. My Estus flask here. And my, I think this is called an ember here. These actually go on the side that has the little yellow ring around them. And then when they're used, they're flipped over to the side where the little yellow ring is grayed out. So we're going to start with that. I'm also going to give myself the aggro token. Now, in a multiplayer game, the aggro token is a little more important, but for me, I'm playing a single player, and I'm always going to have aggro because I'm the only one playing. So, but I did put the aggro token out here in case I needed it. I have also taken some cues for my health and for my stamina. I've put them alongside my board. They're going to eventually go here when I take damage or when I use stamina to do extra special moves. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the treasure deck. Now, how you create the treasure deck is kind of interesting. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the deck of standard treasure cards. So you're going to take the standard treasure deck, and you're going to know that they're standard treasure cards because if you look here in the top right-hand corner of the treasure, you're going to see a standard symbol there to show that that is a standard treasure. All of those are going to be in a stack like this. And then you are going to take the treasures for the individual characters that are actually in the game. And since there's only one character in my game, I only take the treasures for the warrior. And you can tell that these are warrior-specific treasures by looking at the card. And if you look here in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see the small little white axe there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. And that means that this treasure is specific to the warrior. Now, if you were playing the warrior and the assassin, you would take both the warrior-specific treasures and the assassin's treasures, and you would shuffle them together, and then you're going to shuffle them all into the treasure deck here, and that's going to be your treasure deck for the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cards and I'm going to randomly place them in here just to kind of make sure they get shuffled in fairly well. And then I'm going to actually shuffle the actual deck. And then I'll have my treasure deck for the game. So there we go. And I'm just going to set this here so that when I draw a treasure, I'm going to draw from that deck, which has generic treasures and also treasures that are specific to my character, which is really nice. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all the tokens that I need for the game are readily available to me. So I have soul tokens here, I have damage tokens here, I have off the camera here I have some tokens for barrels, tokens for treasure chests, tokens for tombstones, and I also have my trap tokens, which I have already randomly mixed up so that I have no idea what's under any of them. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set my character on the bonfire tile, and that's it. And now I'm ready to play Dark Souls the board game. So, if you want to see me play through this scenario, then go ahead and click on the link in the description that goes to the gameplay video, and I will see you in the next video.